For 25 million years, ancestors of the American bald eagle have flown over the earth, gliding effortlessly on huge broad wings. Riding high wind currents, they covered hundreds of miles in a single day. Because of their great size and powerful talons, they feared no natural enemies, and their uncanny eyesight enabled them to see prey at a distance of 3 miles. 25,000 centuries of evolution created this superb air creature, the undisputed master of the sky. Today, he has been pressed to the brink of total extinction. This is the story of Silver, a bald eagle, probably the most publicized bird in the nation in 1976. He was born in the mid-1960s in the high mountains near Juneau, Alaska. Early in 1970, a hunter spotted him circling above, took aim, and fired. Silver crashed through the trees to the ground, shot in the wing. He lay on the forest floor for days until another hunter found him bleeding and starving. He was sent to the San Francisco Zoo, where for the next few years he paced up and down on a concrete floor in a small cage. Thousands of people armed with their usual popcorn, peanuts, cigarette butts, and Instamatics viewed the forlorn representative of the national symbol. Lar Caughlan, a wildlife biologist and yoga instructor at nearby San Francisco State University, visited Silver often and dreamed of someday seeing Silver back in the wild. With the help of the zoo's zoologist, Paul Maxwell, Caughlan and animal expert Mary Rose Spivey organized a raptor rehabilitation project. During the next 3 years, they worked to rehabilitate some 77 birds of prey, eventually expanding their work to help scores of raccoons, opossums, deer, and even a mountain lion. After working with many eagles, hawks, owls, and falcons, Caughlan decided to train Silver. After sitting in a cage for 3 years, Silver had lost his ability to fly and hunt. During the next several months, Caughlan taught him the necessary talents for survival in the wilderness. In August 1973, the time had come for Silver to go out on his own. Along with Jane, a female bald eagle, he was taken to the Mount Lassen area in California for release. But an early snowfall prompted their return to the San Francisco Bay Area for the winter. In the summer of 1974, the 2 eagles were crated and transported to Ruby Lake National Wildlife Refuge, 60 miles southeast of Elko, Nevada, for release. They were put in a shelter for 2 weeks and did their fishing from a large trough, becoming familiar with the place while waiting for their freedom. Finally, on August 3rd, Silver and Jane were banded, while a small gathering of rangers and press representatives watched from a hillside behind the refuge headquarters. Jane was released first. Caughlan, helped by his wife Fairley, and refuge manager Ron Papike, cut the tether bracelets. Jane took off and flew out of sight. Now it was Silver's turn. Papike cut the bracelets. Caughlan thrust Silver into the air, saying, "Silver, fly free." Caughlan reluctantly bid the bird goodbye and returned to San Francisco. A new chapter began in Silver's life. During the next few months, he perched on fence posts, on signs, or high in a tall tree, surveying the scene, mostly keeping an eye on fishermen. His greatest delight was badgering, threatening or begging from an angler until he was given a fish for lunch. Once in a while he caught coots, and like all good bald eagles, learned to snatch food from local prairie falcons. A car-killed rabbit provided an occasional dinner. Residents of northeastern Nevada heard stories of the big semi-tame bird and drove out to Ruby Marshes to see him. Hundreds of people saw Silver. Many considered him a friend. Seeing a bald eagle up close is a rare experience, and Silver became a celebrity. Caughlan visited Silver a few months after his release, and the eagle seemed to have a happy, free life. Then on June 25, 1975, a retired California policeman later explained to officials, "I saw something white in the sagebrush and shot it." Silver was dead. He was 10 years old. The killer was fined $550, had his rifle confiscated, and was sentenced to 6 months in jail. Because of ill health, the jail term was suspended. Knowing that nothing would bring the bird back to life, but realizing that Silver could be a lesson on display, the Northeastern Nevada Museum applied for a federal permit to exhibit the bird. Local, state, national, and Indian officials, along with many Elko residents, wrote letters and made phone calls to federal offices to help get the permit. His body was sent to Gurney Freeze-Dry Taxidermy at Watsonville, California, to be made into an exhibit mount. A year after his death, almost to the day, Elko residents Ben and Connie Lesbo flew in their private plane to transport Silver back to Elko. Silver and the Lesbos were met at the airport by local Nevada Fish and Game officials who took him to the museum. Silver had made his last flight. Elko's Nevada Civic Club collected and sold 77,000 aluminum cans to help build a special exhibit case. Silver's taxidermy bill was paid by the Ruby Lake National Wildlife Refuge Office. A month later, the museum opened Silver's display with a reception to honor him as a representative of the national symbol. A fitting tribute during the bicentennial year. Lar Caughlan, during his talk at the reception, said to the crowd, "Better 10 months of freedom than 10 years behind bars." Although the circumstances were sad, the nation's 200th birthday was an appropriate time to pay tribute to the bald eagle. It might be a scavenger, but it is a bird of majestic bearing and awesome beauty. The best gesture of respect would be to understand that the bald eagle is not a wanton killer, but a bird of humble habits that now depends on us for survival.